Harambee, celebrating 40 years on the stations of WTLC.
Welcome, Indiana, here to Harambee on AM 1310, The Light, Radio 1. We're with you. I know you were surprised. We hit you today at 4 o'clock. Just finished a fantastic presentation by the Indianapolis Recorder and Radio 1 at the library, where we had the candidates for the governor. Don't ask me to remember the names. We had Joe, Greg, Eric. Who was the rest? Eric Holman. Who was the other one? And I was there. Ethan, you can't even remember. And you was, Bennett was his name. I don't know, but no, they were good. The presentation was excellent by Holcomb and John Gregg and Mr. Bennett, and maybe it was Ben, maybe it was Bill. Anyway, I just want you to know it was there. I was there, and so we now come into what I call the very most important thing. And any of you who are listening, and you encounter any of the candidates or any candidate, I would like you to ask them this question. This question would be, sir or lady, what are your core values? As a person, then what are your core values as a member of a political party? If you be Democrat, Libertarian, or if you're Republican, ask them the question, what are your core values? Now, if they don't give you something clear, that's going to tell you what kind of person as a servant that they're going to be. Because anybody that's going to work as a servant or help other people have to have some values. Now, if they value money, you're in trouble. If they value prejudices that reflect or relate to your ethnicity, or one would say your culture, you got another problem. So you want to know what their core values are. You may say, well, what are you talking about, Brown? I'm talking about what are their ethics. I'm not trying to take you to school, but I just want you to remember that we have people here who have some values. That's why they're on the show today. Of course, I am passing this on to my executive director of the Indiana Christian Leadership Conference, and she has special guests because we address at this point the value of women in the human experience. You have it. I'm Tom Brown, of course, but I'm going to shut up and I'm turning it over to Marilyn Gill. She probably said I messed up her name. A minister, Marilyn Gill. You got it.
Well, good afternoon again, Indianapolis community. Again, this is Reverend Marilyn Gill. I'm here with the program, and it is so. What is so? It is so that women continue to make strides, have made strides in the past, and will continue to make strides in the future regarding economic, political, and educational, ministry, and other facets of life. They are not only nationally, but we also have them here, right here in our community of Indianapolis, Indiana. And before I introduce our guest today, I do want to send out one more time kudos, congratulations to the 135th consecrated bishop, Dr. E. Ann Henning Byfield of the African Methodist Convention. Now, for our guests today. Our guests are appearing on And It Is So because they have information that is so. It is Mrs. Autry, Mary Autry, who is president of something called NAFI. And she is also here with her co-director, Lottie McAllister. And so, First Ladies, thank you for agreeing to come on the show today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for inviting us.
You're welcome. Why don't you begin by informing the audience just a little bit about yourself, external of the NAFI organization, so that they have a feel for who you are, your background, and what you do, where you've come from, etc. We'll start with you, the president, Mary Autry.
I'm Mary Autry, and I'm the network director for Women in Networking, which is a local network of the National Association for Female Executives, which is headquartered in New York City. However, Women in Networking network is here, of course, in Indianapolis. And I just would like to say that I am a member of the Caring Place, which is formerly known as the Calvary Temple Church, located at 2901 30th Street and Post Road. And secondly, I am also the chaplain for the American Legion Women's Post 438 here in Indianapolis, as well as the treasurer for Women's Life Insurance Society, Chapter 703, Indianapolis. And it is my pleasure to be here. I just would like to thank you, Reverend Gill, for inviting us here, and also Dr. Brown for having us on his show and being able to let the listening audience out there know who we are, what we're about, what we're doing for the community, and how long we've been doing it.
Now, prior to coming on to the show, you were informing us, or enlightening us, I will say, about your background in federal service, in military service. Would you care to expand on that just a little bit for our audience?
Yes, I'm a retired sergeant major, which is enlisted E9. It's the highest you can go as an enlisted person in the military. I was in the Army, spent 22 and a half years in the Army. Before that, I was the first sergeant, and served both of those tours at Fort Benjamin Harrison before its closing. Before that, I've had previous tours in Shape, Belgium, 2 tours in Shape, Belgium, Germany, Heidelberg, also tours in Virginia, and as well as Texas, Fort Bliss, Texas, and Fort Hood, Texas, and now at Fort Benjamin Harrison. My husband also was the first sergeant, and we were both on active duty at the same time. However, I had a little bit more time than he did, in which I retired before he did, of course, with 22 and a half years, and he retired with 20 years,
That's
both
beautiful.
Army.
Those are contributions, and
Thank
it is
you.
so. Okay, let's hear a little bit about your background, Lottie, and how you came to be a part of NAFI. What geared you from the past to the present, so to speak?
Okay. I'm Lottie McAllister, and I met Mary, and she talked to me about NAFI WIN, and I became a member, and then later became co-director with her. It's been a great ride. For about 10 years, I think we've done that. And we have really helped a lot of women in education, in training them. And I'd like to just let you know that I also am a member of Mount Pleasant Christian Church on Fairview Road and Bluff Road, and I'm a marriage mentor through that church.
Wonderful.
And I also have, I work as a representative of Primerica and helping families learn how money works, how that they can make a choice and make the best decisions for their families, for now and for the future.
Wonderful.
Oh, and
yes,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
I don't want to
No,
interrupt.
Go right ahead.
But I want to also let you know that I'm really proud that my grandson just graduated basic training in Fort Bend last weekend, and I was down there for him, and my husband is a retired sergeant major.
Excellent. So now the listening audience has some idea of who you are. I think what we'd like to know a little bit is exactly, I'm here in NAFI, and I was a part of NAFI prior to, I would say prior to 2013, I've been a part of NAFI. But I would like for you to share with the listening audience exactly what is NAFI, what does it stand for, how old is the organization, and when you meet, who can be a part of it, etc., etc., etc.
Okay. Just before I go into that, I would also like to add that I'm also a prayer partner at my church, the Caring Place, and I am a member of our Bible study group with our lay pastors, Sharon and Abe Reese. And I just want to give a shout out to them. I hope they're listening today, and they're great people. My whole Bible study group of great people in the church, and also my Pastor John Susu. So I would just like to add that to it. And now, as we get into the information about our NAFE,
what is
NAFE? Is the National Association for Female Executives, and it was started in 1972 by a lady who was a part of a big corporation, and she told us, this is the story that she told us, that she got tired of walking into the boardroom and rooms every day and seeing a bunch of gray-headed men in there and no women, and she was the only one in there, and she looked around and thought, well, I think we should have some women in the boardrooms as well. So she decided to form her company and called it the National Association for Female Executives, and it's been in existence ever since for about 44 years now. And what NAFE has done, NAFE has formed networks across the country, and I believe Women in Networking here is the only chapter that we have here in Indianapolis. There used to be another one, I believe, up at Fort Wayne, but the one here in Indianapolis is the one that survived.
Let me ask you a question. So, when she talked about going into the boardroom and not seeing females, is there a like organization for men, or in what way? Because I know when I was a member, men participated in some of our events. So could you explain just a little bit how men are welcome in the organization?
Yes, I'm sure there are lots of organizations out there for men, but I don't know if they have the same mission and goals as we would.
Okay.
And as far as NAFE and Women in Networking, because Women in Networking, since we're a network of NAFE, we of course have the same goals and more. We the goals are to empower women out there, make sure that or help them to be placed in leadership positions, to also be community oriented and volunteer in the community, perform services out there to help people who are hurting, people out there who needs help.
And so the empowerment, how do you empower women? What is your mechanism, so to speak?
Well, first of all, we have monthly knowledge sharing events there at the Defense Finance and Accounting Center where I work. I'm a systems accountant there. And we have knowledge sharing events where we have professional speakers come in and do presentations. We also provide education and training, and I'll let Lottie get into that. But people can attend, anybody can attend, men and women, and they do attend, men and women attend, because they are interested in what we have to say. We have a lot to offer. As a matter of fact, Women in Networking was the first group there at the Defense Finance and Accounting Center to have knowledge sharing events, and most of the other organizations follow suit. But as far as a women's group, we were the first ones to have monthly activities, and not only just monthly activities there, but we also do community activities in the community as well.
That was going to be another one of my questions, but first of all, I want to say that when I was a member, we did meet at DFAS in the main Bean Center. So let the listening audience know, where do you meet now, what time do you meet, and how they could become affiliated if they wanted to.
Okay, we currently meet during the lunch hour there, so a lot of the employees can attend that are members of NAFE WIN, and it's at 8999 East 56th Street at the old Fort Harrison location. And to get into the building, you have to contact someone to be signed in because of the security. So if you're working outside of the building, feel free to contact Mary Autry or myself, Lottie McAllister, and you can then we can sign you in. And we'd like to have people arrive at 11 so that we can start right at 11:30, because, like I said, it's during the lunch hour, so people have to come and go.
Okay.
We do offer a lot of training, and a lot of men attend our training every month that we have knowledge sharing events, and they also attend our functions that we have outside of the DFAS Finance Center.
Okay, would you just repeat that one more time? You meet on what days, at what time, and then give them telephone numbers if they are interested.
Okay.
They would need to call the president or you, the director,
Correct.
so that they can gain access into the building.
Correct. We meet on the first Wednesday of every month from 11:30 to 12:30 at the Finance Center, and you could either contact Lottie McAllister, and my number is 317-965-3666, or Mary Autry.
317-212-0887.
And who exactly could call you and say, I want to be a member? And I want to tell you why I'm bringing that out, because naturally when I was there and when I was civilian employee, I felt comfortable being there. But someone who is outside of the building, you're speaking of retired people, you're speaking veterans, who all can actually be a part of NAFI?
It would be anyone within Indianapolis, that anyone within our voice, that hears our voice, that would like to become a member of an association that is helping women become empowered and training, and also doing the charity work that we do to help the homeless veterans and the abused women.
That's good, because that's another thing I wanted to ask you. You champion for what causes? I do know this. I tried to get you to come to our King Day celebration every third Monday, but you're dedicated doing what on that third Monday?
On the third Monday,
in January, yes.
We're dedicated to going over to the VA hospital and doing what they call a day of sharing over there. And this is where we pass out reading materials or blankets or throws for veterans who are hospitalized in the VA hospital, Veterans Affairs Hospital, Veterans Administration's hospital.
And what are some of the other causes? Those are very good endeavors. And what are some of the other causes that you champion for?
And some of the other causes are, we support we have clothing drives, we have linen drives, we have toiletry drives, and we take these items collected at the Defense Finance and Accounting Center from employees there, and we provide them to places like the Julian Center. We just had a clothing drive for the Julian Center. We also provide food for the Good News Ministries homeless shelter. And we also have dinner. We serve dinner sometimes at the Ronald McDonald House for the families of the children who are at the Raleigh Children's Hospital. We also provide, we'll do some fundraisers to help us with that as well.
And it is so. So you see what NAFI is doing. At this time, Dr. Brown, if you'd like to open the phone lines before we go into something else, because they are very busy and they have projects that they want to inform the community that they are involved in. So we'll.
Okay, you've been listening to Miss Marilyn Gill, who is hosting this conversation with Miss Audrey and Miss Lottie McAllister. I got one question. You can call in if you got some questions of these dynamic ladies here. You can call in 239-1310, 239-1310. You got some questions. My question is to you all, because you all are taking on a task that I feel has been the most lacking people knowing that our veterans need a lot of help. I mean, our veterans have been most abused, misused, and bigoted against in many fashions and forms. And I'm sure you don't want to join with me on that critical note, but I come from a background of military. Not me. They wouldn't take me in military, but my dad. But I'm saying, do you think that we as a nation are doing enough for you all who lay your lives on the line to keep this nation where it is?
There's never enough. There's always room for improvement. although we can do the best that we can, we rely on lobbyists to help fight for the veterans. We also have organizations, our service organizations out there. For example, the American Legion. We have the DAV. We also have the VFW and also AMVETS. And all of these services are providers to help veterans anyway.
Guess what? You already got a caller.
Okay.
You got a caller. Caller, Virgie Edmond, you're on the line.
Hup, hup. How you doing, sweetie?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Yeah, remember you one time I got fired out there for Harrison. I remember you. Long time. Good to hear your voice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, love y'all. You and your husband. Yeah. Call me. My phone number is 926.
Okay.
2698.
926-2698. Is that what you said, dear?
Yeah.
Okay, she will get to you when she's off the air.
Yeah,
Yes, I will.
And I got fired. They put me down in the basement. But a girl jumped on me. That's my thing. And I got fired. But they don't know all things. But Lord knows all things.
That's right.
You'll be okay, dear, and Virgie will get with you. You don't want to say too much on the radio; somebody else will come after you. So I'm going to try. To save you on that. But Miss Audrey will get back with you.
I am Brown.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, we got another caller, Bishop William Harris. You're on the line. You got a question or a comment to our guest? Oh, that's the wrong one. We got another comment. This is not my day. I'm telling you. Okay, that's cool. I got you on that. Now we'll. Oh Lord, that's somebody. I got another guest. Now back to you all. Here's a dynamic of what happens where you all have. You're working in this kind of thing, but I'll turn a page so you can respond. What can and I'm flipping this. What ought the church? I've noticed both of you working in your churches and you put it up. But really, how much do you feel that the churches really know how to be caregivers when it comes to veterans?
Well, first of all, someone has to inform the people. If they don't have veterans in the churches who are willing to help other veterans, they have to be able to seek help, and they can seek that help from the various organizations. For example, if they would like to seek help from the service organizations that I named earlier.
Training programs? Do you
in
have
my
some
church,
training?
we don't have training programs for veterans right now, but I am working on that.
How about workers, not veterans? Training programs for people to work with veterans.
Like I said, we don't have any presently in my church. I don't know about Lottie's, but not in my church right now. But I am working on that. As a matter of fact, I have contacted one of our pastors, Pastor Elizabeth Rigney. She's over our women's ministries, and I have contacted her, and she and I have talked about perhaps having an organization or training set up for homeless women veterans. That's a problem. I was at FYI yesterday along with Dottie Simpson, and they're going to be doing a documentary on homeless women veterans. We have quite a few in the areas, and so that's supposed to air in November. But Dottie Simpson is the network director for Sister Soldier Network, and she is working diligently to make something very positive to get these ladies shelter, get them help. And help, when I say help, I mean there are some of them who need mental help, psychological help, physical help. Some of these women have been abused. They have been abused, and either in uniform or they have been abused before coming into the military, and even since they've been out of the military. That's either physical assaults or, as I said before, mental abuse or verbal abuse.
Emotional.
And we're working on programs to help them.
It's funny how we got a lot of names for abuse. Abuse is abuse.
Yes.
It's just plain abuse. We go mental, psychological. We use all the academic terms. but it's abuse and the other phenomena.
And physical abuse.
Yeah,
That's
physical
correct.
and mind. And if you physically abuse me, it's going to affect my mind. And if you mess with my mind, it's going to affect my
It's gonna
physical.
physically abuse you
You
also.
know, yeah, the dynamic is because many young ladies or many women come back from the war, and the war is still in them.
Yes, that's correct.
And that's men too.
Yes.
When you've been taught to kill, you tell me, how do you come back in here and what I would say, move it out of your system when it's been planted in you? That's a whole nother discussion.
Debrief.
There are discussions on that
Yeah,
being
and that's why we got
transient.
PSTA and all them funny words. But you all have anybody want to get in touch with you, because we got to ready to make another transition from here. You got it there? Go ahead.
We have before we move off the air.
Go ahead.
I need to make a transition right quick because there are 2 events coming up that NAFI is sponsoring, and
Tell
I
us.
want to get that on. So would you go ahead, Mary?
Yes, the first one that's coming up on October 15th, that's the bowling, and Lottie will talk to you about that.
We're having a bowling event to help to raise funds to help us support all the community works that we do.
You gonna bully us?
And we're going to bowl.
Oh, you said bowling.
Bowling.
What the accent you all got? Sound like it was bullying. You are
Bowling.
bowling.
B-O-W-L-I-N-G.
Okay, bowling.
Right,
is
at
the-
Hindle Bowl on Saturday, October the 15th, starting at 9 o'clock. If you'd like to join us, we'd be happy to have you. Just show up.
Okay, and then on October the 29th, I'm excited about that.
Yes, on October 29th, Women in Networking will be holding its first Women's Leadership Conference. And in that conference, it's going to be from 8 until 4. From 8 till 9 will be registration. From 9 to 4 will be the conference. We're going to have all kinds of classes there for women. They can attend whatever classes they want, anywhere from financial success to motivation, networking strategies, realty, veterans information, and empowerment. And we're also going to be at the Army National Guard Armory. That's where it's going to be. The Army National Guard Armory at East 9920 East 59th Street in Indianapolis. And some of our sponsors are going to be the American Legion Women's Post 438, the Finance Federal Credit Union, the Networking Strategies with Ron Sukanik, Homes for Heroes with Stephanie Cook, and like I said, Sister Soldier Network with Dorothy Simpson. And Lisa Wilkins is also one of our point of contact. So if you want to contact us, we're also going to have CPEs for these classes, continuing professional education, where if someone is trying to get certified in areas such as finance and accounting or whatever areas you may need, you can be able to obtain these, and they come with the registration fee. The registration fee is $25. We're going to have a continental breakfast, and also we're going to have a hot catered lunch catered by the California Connection Catering Company. Very good. And we're going to have motivational speakers. Our keynote speaker is Barbara Ward. She is the Center Director for Minority Veterans. She's going to be coming from Washington, D.C. We're also going to have Ron Sukanik. He's a motivational speaker, as well as we're going to have, help me out, Lottie.
Can you get
Lottie
the number?
I'm
McAllister.
thinking we need to
Air.
move on.
Okay.
Yep, we're getting ready.
My number
What
is
is your number?
317-212.
Say it again. Slow down.
317-212-0887.
And my number is 317-965-3666. And anyone would like to attend is welcome to attend.
And also, please go to register at eventbrite.com. You can go directly to our site there at www.winleadershipconference2016.eventbrite.com.
All righty.
We hope to see you there. It's going to be fun.
Okay.
Trust me.
All righty. You've been listening to these dynamic ladies, and pay attention, because they're dealing with something that a whole lot of you all need to get involved in. That's what our veterans and helping others help others. All right, we'll move on into our next segment, and we're going to take a break for our supporters and our sponsors. And we'll be coming back to you after our sponsors' presentation. This is Dr. Thomas L. Brown saying, all right, hang tough. We'll be back with you.
You are now tuned in to Insight Sundays, the show that brings you relevant news, youth topics with a new mission and focus for our communities.
Hello, Indianapolis. It's your main man once again, Adrian Mickens, here with my co-star co-host,
David Kegler.
Thank you so very much, David. So today's topic and show of today is going to be about the counterculture youth movement that's going to be coming up here next weekend on the dates of September 30th and October 1st. We have our in-studio guest, which is Pastor Derek Miller, also with the First Lady Valerie Miller. And on the line, we have the great Bishop Harris. So, Bishop, are you there?
I am here. God bless you. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon, Bishop.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Doing good, sir.
All right. And once again, like I said, we got Bishop William Harris here on the line, and then we have Pastor Derek Miller here too as well. So, Bishop, please enlighten everyone in Indianapolis of this great movement that's getting ready to occur here next weekend. I've been doing a lot of research on it, and I've seen the all-star cast that you guys got coming in. So how did everything come about for this counterculture reset movement?
Wow, it's been a short but long journey in light of all of the social, economic, community, political issues going around the country, especially concerning our youth. I thought it was of time to bring all of the young people together, and so we launched a movement called Counterculture, which is basically a movement to make some changes in our community, also in the social fabrics of our church. So kind of got together with all of the national youth leaders from around the country, some local regional people, and we formed this coalition called Counterculture.
Absolutely, yeah, because I've seen you guys got two flyers for it. One of them is specifically has the dates and the performers that's going to be there that weekend too as well, and then all the board of directors and pastors and motivational speakers that's going to be a part of it too. So now, is this the first one, or have you guys already been doing this for a couple of years now?
This is going to be the first one that we've ever done, so it's somewhat historical, and it's historical in the sense too that we've got so many international, national youth leaders from all around the United States. So it's the first time we've all been under one roof, and it's going to happen there in Indianapolis.
Awesome. So what's that location where it's going to be at, or is it multiple locations? Because I know it's 2 different days.
Sure, multiple locations. On the Friday night, we're having what we call a Congress of Youth, where we're going to sit down with all of our national youth leaders to strategize and to put some vision out there. And then Saturday during the daytime, that Friday night is at the Crown Plaza Airport Hotel. And also the Saturday day sessions are at the Crown Plaza. That's where we're doing our town hall meeting with all of our police chiefs and governmental officers, et cetera. And then we have a talk show also hosted by the Word Network. And then that night is going to be at Christ Church Apostolic, 6601 Grandview Drive.
Awesome. So for everybody who likes to hear that, the gospel sound of singing, do we have any performance acts that's going to be there too as well?
Actually, we have so much going on that night. We have a different type of service. We're going to be having concert/worship experience. There's going to be some motivational speaking, preaching, an artist, some more motivational speaking, preaching, another artist. We've got Jessica Giovanti coming, Hezekiah, and Alexander Music from Michigan. We've got Todd Dulaney coming from Chicago. We have Perfect Vision is going to be there. We have the Indiana Bible College coming. We have Grace Apostolic Choir coming. We have the Counterculture Mass Choir. So it's so many artists and so many groups from all over the city and all over the country.
You definitely have an all-star lineup.
Now, are you going to perform? Because I see you got a new single coming out, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes. We have a new single called It Won't Work. And the group is Perfect Vision. We'll be singing on Saturday night the hit single, It Won't Work. So we want everybody to tune in for that.
Absolutely, because that I want to tell you, Bishop, I've heard the song. It's actually on YouTube already, and the song is awesome. Like, it really is. I just want to tell you that personally. I really do enjoy that song. It really is, because it really hits home when the devil try to, shake you and rattle you. Sometimes you got to tell him, hey, go into your prayer closet, as those we say, and tell him, hey, man, it's not going to work today.
It's not going to work. It ain't going to work. No weapon formed is able to prosper.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tell the people here in Indianapolis, actually my father stays in Kentucky, so I go there quite frequently. So tell the people here in Indianapolis about your ministry. I'm looking here on the website now. Is the International Christian Apostolic Fellowship? Is that correct?
Yes.
So if you can tell some people here in Indianapolis about what you guys do in Kentucky, maybe they'll come out and visit, while they're in state.
Sure. We got a couple things going on. Of course, my local church here is Praise Covenant Church at 3107 Crumbs Lane, Louisville, Kentucky. The International Christian Apostolic Fellowship is a organization that I'm the presiding bishop over, which has been kind of the foundation for counterculture. And it's amazing you're talking to me. I'm now in my restaurant. We had a grand opening of my restaurant today.
Oh, wow.
And so we started Legends Soul Food Restaurant that's here, 4314 Cane Run Road, right here in Louisville, Kentucky. So we're now here today at the grand opening of our new restaurant.
That is really awesome. I can tell, Bishop, I even, seen a lot of different information here on the website and stuff. And I've also seen that you've traveled out of the country and done ministry work too as well. I've seen a nice thing that you did out in India, looked like a nice prayer service. What's some international things, that people can follow you on and look forward to getting to know you a little bit better? What's the international things that you do with the ministry?
Internationally, I do a lot of local and international travel. A few months ago, we were in Hyderabad, India, and went over there to do some missions work. I've got some churches over there that's in my organization. For the first time, my wife and I went to do some missions work, and some awesome healings and miracles happened there. And recently, because of our humanitarian efforts in India, they named an orphanage after me. And one of the new projects we're doing now is raising funds for the orphanage. I tell people here, we don't know how good we got it till we go other places.
Yes.
And when you see the poverty there, it just really breaks your heart. And so those that want to find more information about our international endeavors, they can go to our website, www.drwilliamharris.com, and there's a whole section of our website dedicated to the orphanage and the work that we're doing there in India as well as in Africa.
Awesome. So now I'm also seeing too as well with the ministries that you have here on your website, which is drwilliamsharris.com. I see that you have training courses or training institute, to be specific, of different things of mentoring and networking and video conferences. Can you explain a little about your training institute that you guys have?
Sure. One of my main passions is that of a teacher and trainer. I've had a lot of secular education. One of my purposes, I started a church very young in my early 20s. My first church I planted didn't have a lot of help in the sense of training me on how to pastor, and I had to do it on my own somewhat and with a little help from certain individuals. But I learned the hard way, and I made up my mind and a vision that once the Lord blessed me, that I would always give back. So I've kind of written my path. I've started in the home with 7 people. I've been through every stage of church growth, from the garage to the community center to buying multi-million-dollar pieces of property. So I wrote a book called Leadership, and it just talks about leadership, like the how-tos of leadership, how to build not just churches but corporations. And every month, once a month, and we have not done it for the last 2 months, but starting in November, that's the first Monday in November, I sit down to a free online class to pastors and leaders all over the country, and we sit down for about 90 minutes and we impart and train on leadership principles.
All right. That's awesome. So, Bishop, we have your song on cue, which is "It Won't Work." I really want the public to be able to hear that song here in Indianapolis, because it's awesome. Do you mind if we play that song?
Let's do it.
All right. We're going to play a sample of that. It's about a minute long. Go ahead and play "It Won't Work," Bishop William Harris.
All right.
Into the fire, but I made it. Thought my life was over, but because of Jehovah, I've learned to fight. Right now, I use my tool. The devil's power. Everybody say no. Maybe they didn't hear you. Everybody say no. Somebody tell the devil no. I'm here to declare to you tonight that your setback was a setup for your comeback. God told me to tell you. Whatever it is, it won't work. Whatever it is, it won't work. I believe that it won't work. Whatever it is, it won't work. Do you believe that it won't work? Do you believe that it won't work? I believe that it won't work. I believe that it won't work. You talk behind my back. You scandalize my name. You tried to bring me down. You tried to make me frown. Oh.
Bishop, I'm telling you, man, if you could probably see us in studio once again. We're Facebook Live right now, Insight Sundays. Y'all probably seen us having our own praise and worship service right here in studio. Bishop, the song is bad, man. I'm telling you, I love the part where you say, I think it's your setback is time to set up your come up. So I love that part.
Your setback is a setup for your comeback.
I love it, man. I love it. So I know David has one question here for you.
My question, you just talked about leadership, and I know that's not the first book that you've written of many, but how do you keep one church, 3 locations, music, booking, and international travels? You must have a heck of a secretary.
He does. I do. I think it's a combination of just having a good team, training, and balance. Just really trying to find a balance, but it also involves a good team of people who the Lord has blessed me with, that surrounds me, that gives me the possibilities and flexibilities to kind of go out. But it is a busy schedule. I'm glad I'm young, and so I got a little more strength than the normal guy, but the Lord has blessed me.
I appreciate it so much, Bishop. And once again, give everybody the dates and then the locations for the event next weekend.
I want to invite everybody in Indianapolis to come out to the historical Counterculture Conference 2016. It is going to be happening September the 30th, October the 1st. You want to be at the Crown Plaza on this Friday night. Saturday, 11 to 4 will be at the Crown. And then that night, young people and pastors and leaders from all over the United States are coming to Indianapolis for our major unity service. It's going to be happening at 7 o'clock that night. Elder Aaron Porter, Elder Jared Perdue, Elder Enzi, representatives from all of the Apostolic Pentecostal organizations from around the world, and their staffs are going to be there, and all these guests and artists. And most of all, you can't get all of these people together and not have God show up and miracles and deliverance and just an awesome anointed time. So I want everybody to come out to Counterculture 2016, Christ Church Apostolic, September the 30th and October the 1st. Looking forward to seeing everybody there.
Thank you so much. And thank you once again to Bishop William Harris. We appreciate it so much for you calling in all the way from Kentucky. Congratulations once again on your restaurant that you had opening up today. For everybody who's out there listening, once again, you can find us on Facebook at Insight Sundays. Once again, find us on Facebook at Insight Sundays. We want to hear your questions, comments, and concerns. Also find us on every other social media account, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. Once again, that is all under the title of Insight Sundays. We're going to go ahead and go to our sponsorship break. Welcome back, Indianapolis, to the second half of Insight Sundays presented by Harambee Productions. On this second half of the show, we're going to talk with our in-studio guest, which is Pastor Derek Miller and the First Lady, Mrs. Valerie Miller, too, as well. They're some very close friends of mine, and I'm really glad to have them here on the show today to talk about their ministry and also, too, the Counterculture Reset event that's going to be coming up that Pastor Derek Miller will also be a part of. So I'll let them introduce themselves, the church, location, all the good stuff.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Pastor Derek Miller, and we pastor Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus on the southeast side of town, 2850 Bethel Avenue. It's inside of Bethel Park Family Center.
Praise the Lord, Indianapolis. This is First Lady Valerie Miller. Greetings to you on this beautiful Sunday. Our phone number is 317-741-1726.
Awesome. So, Pastor Miller, how did everything come about to actually get into the realm of becoming a pastor and a minister? I'm going to tell you, Indianapolis, don't take the modesty for granted. These two individuals who we have in here today, they do a lot of good work here in Indianapolis, Indiana. When I say that they really do work with the youth and reach out, they really do, like a lot. They have something going on pretty much every weekend. I know they have a special youth night. Which Friday is that?
Fourth Fridays.
Every fourth Friday of the month, they do something with the youth, and it's spectacular stuff. We're not just talking pizzas and movies. We're talking about actual activities and doing real things with the kids. So can you tell me, Pastor Miller, how you got into the ministries of Bethesda and all the good stuff?
Well, it's pretty interesting, Adrian. You know, I was an athlete,
Okay.
So my mind was set up on, playing college, finishing college, going overseas, doing something. But, the Lord had another plan for me. I ended up in Bethel Park Family Center, and I'm there working in the community and programming. And, I was a newly saved young minister, and I had to embrace purpose. And I struggled with purpose, God purpose, because that isn't what I wanted to do, But when I embraced purpose, I really found out that, man, I have the keys, and children of God have the keys. I have the keys, I have the power, I have the ability and the influence to spearhead change. And the Lord absolutely put me over there to spearhead change in that community, and it gave us insight to develop programs such as the Indie Youth Achievers College Tour program. That started off as just a basic mentoring. 9 years ago, we just mentored like 6 guys on, the weekends and just talking to them. And it birthed into writing grants and getting, hundreds of $1,000s, over $100,000 worth of grant funding over these last 9 years to impact young people and taking them on college tours all across the United States. Not only going on college tours, but we were, developing life skill workshops and impacting them in the natural, and helping them to focus to even get to that point of going to college.
Yes.
So we've been building and working and programming all of these years. And, the Lord just really had me out there and put in my spirit that this is where I want you to work at and be there. And I embraced it. And my bishop, he's a spiritual man. He was led of the Holy Ghost. And he said, hey, I want you to plant a church out here. And, we're in a year and a half into this. And we're still programming, and we're still building, we're still impacting community. And now, I'm a pastor, and we laugh at, at ourselves like, God, what? Pastor? I never, I never grew up saying, man, I want to be a pastor. I wasn't even a preacher, so the Lord developed all of that, so I'm out here and I'm pastoring and I'm preaching and we're winning souls and people are coming off of drugs and young people are going to college and amazing things are happening, and it's all to God, to God be the glory. And we're excited and people are connecting with us, and the ship is sailing and we're moving, and there's much more to do, and we're just excited about what God is doing on the southeast side of town for us in this ministry.
So First Lady, can you speak about the things that you do with the young ladies and different conferences and stuff that you guys have? Because I see that from time to time.
Yes, our women's ministry, the Lord gave us Chosen to Sow, spiritually strengthening other women. And so we have a luncheon, which occurs every April of the year. It will be an annual luncheon. And then also a women's conference that will be at the end of August each year. And it's just a time for refreshing, for renewing, for the older women to teach the younger women. The Lord's just really been dealing with me about training. Somebody has to train the next generation so that they can keep, going and they can train their babies, and that we can put a stop to some of these things that are going on.
Yes, absolutely. Dave, you have any follow-up questions before I move on to the next?
I'm glad to hear you talk about teaching, because one of the things that I always say is that we need etiquette classes in the city of Indianapolis for men and for women, because you all see it walking down the street. You got on a pair of jeans and your belt is around your thighs, but you got red basketball shorts on. I have no idea about that. And there's other things that go on with the women as well, and that's good that you all speak about teaching. My question for you is, I seen a picture of you guys, and it said that no one knew that 14 years ago an athlete and a sorority girl, would fall in love and be together. So once he started moving in the ministry, did you move right along with him, or did it kind of the spirit come down and grab both of y'all at once, or you like, you know what, this is the man that I'm in love with and I'm gonna follow him?
You know what, to be completely transparent, Pastor Derek, or Brother Derek, he began to be saved first, and it took a minute for me. I remember he came home, he was so excited. He was like, I went down in Jesus' name. I was filled for the Holy Ghost. I said, that is not part of the plan. That is not what I signed up for. And so I came a little bit later, but I think the Lord had to do it in his own timing, in his own way. I remember when he said he was called to the ministry, the same thing. It was a phone call, and he was like, hey, I think I just wrote my first message. I said, your first message as in preaching? And he said, yeah. I said, oh, okay. Where is this going from there? But, the Lord, he knows. He knows which season we're going to take. He knows where we're going to go. And I completely trust him.
Awesome, man. That's really awesome, man. That's so awesome. And, I want to speak on a few things that you guys do, not just necessarily with the youth, but what you guys do as a whole in the community. I know that you had an event not too long ago. I think it was maybe a couple of weeks ago with some of the community leaders within the city. What was that event about? I know it's old now, but what was that event about and what was going on? So maybe next time if you have another one, people can catch up with you guys on Facebook or so.
Well, that event was initiative that we set up through Counterculture.
Okay.
With Bishop William Harris. He asked me on his team for the evangelistic component of the organization. So we put that together. Lord gave us a vision to go out and to not just have a community, rally, the normal kind of community rally where people get on the mic and talk. So we actually did something. So we put together a pasta and prayer drive. So we were inviting people. We connected with Second Helpings and Jennifer, the CEO of Second Helpings, and she was there, and people were bringing pasta from wherever, boxes of pasta, and we wanted to help, fight a cause, hunger cause, but also to fight, the challenges in the community through prayer. So we were praying with people in the community. We're giving away gift cards and those kind of things, and being a blessing all around. So it was wonderful because one woman drove by. She was like, "What y'all giving away?" And we was like, nah, people were bringing to us. And awesome. It touched her heart. Her daughter was with her. So she left and went to the store, bought pasta, and they brought it back, and she was just showing her daughter how to give and be a blessing. So, the whole event was great. So those are the kind of things that we strive to do, and being a blessing to our community.
Awesome. That is really awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to commercial break for our sponsors. And then once we come back, we're going to give our message that we do every Insight Sundays and our word of the day from Danielle. We're going to take a sponsorship break. Welcome back, Indianapolis. Once again, I'm your main man, Adrian Mickens. We're going to wrap up the show here in just momentarily. But before we do that, in studio, as always, we're going to have our word of the day from Miss Danielle. So Danielle's I'm going to turn over to her.
For I know the plans that I have for you, declare the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11.
Awesome. So thank you for that. Pastor Miller and Valerie, can you give everybody one last time the location of you guys' church, where they can find you at, and the way to contact with you all?
Yes, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, mobile app, Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus. We're located 2850 Bethel Avenue, inside Bethel Park Family Center.
We also have, during the week, a daily prayer line. The number is 1-605-562-0020 with the access number 143-264-854. We are on the line at 5:30 a.m. and 10:30 p.m.
Thank you so much for all of our guests. Our guest that was on the line, Bishop William Harris. Our in-guest studio, which is Pastor Miller and First Lady Valerie Miller. We appreciate everybody once again. And that'll be it for this show.